Try diving down now, so we'll see if Toronto can maybe get this payload going. They do go up and dive. Yeah, they do go ahead and get quite a few, actually. Jaru coming through on that Genji, like we've seen him come through on the Genji all day long. And off the back of that, that payload should really move.
Jaru played that really well. So they got the 3 players up there, and they forced them back. So Jaru followed up on the tank engage, and that meant that they were in the corridor for the Genji dash through multiple members. A very clean engage from Toronto Esports, and they will easily take point A.
Yeah, okay, so a little bit rough at first, but the mech again, and Toronto Esports seems to have a little bit of an edge in this fight as that payload moves forward. Immortals scrambling a little bit. They lose Verbo. Lucio out of the way. And this is looking a little bit grim for Immortals right now.
Yeah, throwaway on the self-destruct from Hyped after the damage had already been done more or less, not really catching anybody or even zoning more than a couple of people off the payload.
Faith swapped over to the Reinhardt for just a little bit more durability to the back line. Onigod coming in now. Ooh, nice dive onto Agilities. Took him down. He swapped over to Roadhog after using that Dragon Blade. And that payload is almost there. Toronto Esports running over Immortals. They were doing so well today, but it looks like it might all end now. Toronto Esports with a strong push coming in. Onigod may have taken himself out for the end, but hey, it all worked out, and that's 2:45 left on the clock for Toronto Esports.
If Fate goes way too far forward there, he needs the rest of his team right there.
Yeah,
he's going to make any kind of pressure onto the high ground, and with Verbo going down, they mean a little bit of a delay, but Grim actually hits the pulse bomb.
I mean, that's a tank and a DPS down for Toronto Esports, so despite Immortal missing someone, maybe Agilities can get enough kills here to equalize. Sound Barrier keeping up Snow for the moment, but not long enough. Agility with 2 already before he's taken down by Jaru. Jaru nearly has his own Dragon Blade, but he's getting zoned out by Hyped. Finally taken down, and Immortals seem to have found a pretty good push here.
Now we have to deal with the payload on the payload, and that's going to be about it. Note's going to try and jump down, and we are seeing the Primal Rages popped here. Some good stalling, but it just looks like it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, and ulting Cynic may not be quite enough to stop this payload. Ulting Cynic was also the name of my punk band in high school, actually.
Was it?
So, it's an amazing coincidence, huh? Onigod jumps in at the
versus 5.
Well, just kind of clumped him up around the corner, which is exactly where they didn't want to be. Agilities with the Dragon Blade again, taking names, and Toronto Esports defense pretty much falling apart here during the hangar phase.
Well, Jaru got cut down during his own Dragon Blade. We heard both Genjis going off.
Toronto Esports, though, they have ults to try to stall this off, and one last-ditch effort. There's a Transcendence coming out of the spawn immediately. Looks like it's going to be the ultimate for Hype. We'll see if he can pick anything up. With the self-destruct not quite grabbing anything, they're going to jump on him immediately and pop him out of that mech. Toronto Esports, now the Dragon Blade comes out for Agilities, trying to finish this one off, and he tears Toronto apart. That is it. 3 points for Immortals. A minute 30 on the clock, so not quite as fast as Toronto Esports, but and here's one more defense coming in for Toronto Esports. We'll see what they can come up with. Already the high ground to occupy. Grim Reality pops D.Va out of the suit. Both D.Vas desuited, actually, as Immortals push this payload a little bit farther. With the time bank, getting even point A would be huge here for them. See if they can do it. That payload is moving. I think they've got it. They do. So point A taken. Remember, in time bank, you don't get any extra time for taking a point. Grim Reality just looking at one of his kills. Crucial, taking out that Lucio. Taking out Note as well. Meanwhile, Immortals are pushing.
It's overtime, but Agilities comes back with a Dragon Blade on his own. Jaru still only at 70%. So Immortals has a lot of opportunities to keep using this ult advantage to push the payload through the hangar phase.
Yep, that's right. Here we go. Ultimates all over the place as we are in overtime now. See if anybody can get him with the self-destruct. No, not quite. Grim Reality once again takes on Ludi, and the kills coming in for Immortals. They are putting together a really long push with the time they had. Whoa, nobody can stop Agilities right now, and they may even get point B. That would be insane.
It would be huge, and Jaru only now getting the Dragon Blade, and they still have a Transcendence to wait it out.
They actually get there.
Yeah, watch for Kariv here. He needs to have a good Transcendence. Jaru in the same boat, has to have that good Dragon Blade. Here we go.
Well, they're going to come in early. The Transcendence is popped by both Zenyatas. It's Disco Fever here in this last fight at point B, and now Jaru pulls out the Dragon Blade. Verbo goes down early. but Karev not surviving either. Actually, Jaru may be able to end this one right here, right now. Looks like they will. Yeah, Onigod picking up the last few kills, and that's going to be OT ticking away. But that said, Immortals, 2 points. They are up to 5 in total. Great push. Works out. Sound barrier used by Toronto
that
Esports.
was early.
In response, it does seem a bit early. Wearing off now. Grim Reality being chased away, though. Jaru getting very low. He's got the Dragon Blade, but not accomplishing a lot with it. Hyped even takes out Ludi with the self-destruct. And Toronto Esports stuffed on that offensive push, and they used everything they had on that. 20 seconds left, and although Immortals don't have any ults themselves, they do have that big positional advantage.
Well, crucially, Cynic is going to have Primal Rage, so they may be able to stall this one out. Self-destruct already available, so can they get to the payload in time? 6 seconds, let's go.
Yep, that's right. Toronto Esports coming in with actually a couple last-minute ultimates. See if they can push it. Getting closer. There's a sound barrier for Immortals. Are they going in? It looks like they are. Transcendence used by Toronto Esports, of course. No trying to keep everybody up. As soon as that's over, though, the Dragon Blade comes up. Agility's trying to make a difference here. Grim Reality picking up a kill, too. Agility's with 2. And now another Transcendence comes in for Immortals. And the payload's going to be stopped right here, right now. And as that time bar ticks away, it looks like Immortals will take Gibraltar.
And we did see some nice adaptation from Immortals on the second defense. They didn't leave the 3 players on the high ground, the back point high and dry. Hyped was much better about getting back there with the defensive matrix when they made that dive, and it made such a huge
A little bit rough, so I think for comfort's sake, he's going to stick on the Zenyatta. We'll see how well it works out.
Cynic going down early. Cynic very early in this engagement, and Jaru going to town a little bit, but he's not actually finding that many kills.
Well, Fate did get taken up, but Jaru kind of getting chased away, and Agilities and Hype finish him off. Agilities now turning his attention back to the other members of Toronto Esports as the point begins to unlock, and Immortals going to claim that one first. With the far from Agilities when we saw it a little bit earlier today, and I'm kind of getting the same vibe here. Now, they did win that round, but this one's looking a little bit less likely as we're already into overtime. Toronto Esports trying to stay alive. Tranquility, or Transcendence rather, used by Immortals. And whoa, that's a big barrage into a big res. Can Toronto Esports bring it back, though? I don't know. Kills coming in for both sides. Immortals may have found an opportunity here. Pulse Bomb not gaining a whole lot. Overtime still ticking away. And there's that self-destruct for Toronto Esports and Immortals. No kills from either one. I guess Note did get caught by Hyped. Either way, though, it's going to be a point for Toronto Esports. Interesting round for Immortals. The Pharah not working out.
For Jaru to cut through all of this meat, especially with the Zarya bubbles, if he gets that Dragon Blade, particularly when he doesn't have a nano boost. So we'll have to see how much damage he can get done with the Genji.
All right, Hype force back a little bit. Ooh, Jaru getting a little bit too aggro. Hard to be that aggressive against triple tank. I think he thought he was playing the other comp there for a second. Toronto Esports forced back. The point is unlocked, and Grim Reality does have to back away as he faces that pressure from Cynic. And Toronto Esports almost taking it. Whoa, Onigod staying alive. Immortals with a couple ults coming into this one. Trying yet again. They may just be able to flip the point. No, there's a dive coming in from Toronto Esports. Sound barrier used on the Immortal side. Got to really be careful not to get knocked up. Nice Transcendence by Toronto, actually. Coming in a bit later. Oh, no! And Fate gets booped off again. There's the Graviton Surge, but there is absolutely no damage follow-up. That attack went about as poorly as it could have possibly gone for Immortals.
Well, they needed the Reinhardt swinging into the Graviton Surge because they didn't have anything else, Doa. They didn't have the tac visor coming up. Kareev was not yet.
Double Zenyatta again between both teams. And the fight over the point begins. Grim Reality finding that Tracer drill on the outside, just trying to build as much charge as he possibly can. Needs to be a bit careful here, going behind enemy lines. They may have found Ludi here. No? These fights early on can always be so protracted, but now the kills might start coming in. Toronto Esports with a little bit of control meter built up. Hype desuited on that Diva. That's going to be a problem. Yeah. So some health. He's backing away from Agilities. Self-destruct used, gets the kill onto Grim Reality. Immortals suffering a little bit here in this fight. Agilities wants to equalize though, takes out the opposing Genji, dies to Onigod though, and it's gonna be not quite flipped yet. There's the Transcendence for Toronto Esports. They're really committing to this one. It's a fairly even fight, but Immortals may have what it takes to come back. Yeah, now that Hyped and Fate, the tanks picking up kills. This might get stopped right here, right now. Another pulse bomb comes in, courtesy of Grim Reality, and that gives him enough damage to finish off Cynic. Looks like Toronto Esports, this push stuff for now. Jaru trying to do what he can, but not living for too long. Yeah, they're just going to pop the sound barrier, just get Toronto Esports off the points. They can't lose this one if they want to have a chance to win Nepal, and the time ticking away. Ooh, back in time just at the last moment, but that may be about it. And Immortals looks like they will claim Shrine. So Toronto Esports.
Toronto Esports looks like they will be mirroring.
They have a fight on the high ground. As we nearly always see, Onigod sneaking in from behind, getting a bit of damage onto Hyped before he exits from the early fight. A little bit of reflect fun from Agilities. Point about to unlock it now.
And Bo3's playing this really cautiously. Finally, somebody going in.
Ooh, yeah, Immortals going in hard, but Fate the first to fall. They weren't able to keep him up. Agilities in a little bit of trouble as well. Ooh, can he get back? He survives. That was a close call for Agilities. Now Cynic diving in on the vulnerable members of Immortals, but he's just going to stay on the point. Yeah, Toronto Esports happy to just take it early on. Agilities comes through for a quick kill and reset.
Blade, but 50% of another one as Grim's looking for an optimistic pulse bomb, and that's going to be a good one.
Okay, yeah, that one paid off. Lucio getting taken down. A lot of damage done in general with that as Immortals starts their second fight. Self-destruct, not accomplishing a whole lot on the point right now. Toronto Esports trying to backdoor a little bit here as Immortals falls back. It's going to go ahead and speed boost in there. Kariv speeding in with his ultimate, trying to keep people up, trying to survive through the Dragon Blade from Jaru. Oh no, he gets it up right as he dies though. Verbo gets the knockoff. And those are all kills for Immortals on the feed right now. And it looks like as overtime ticks away, Immortals are going to tie up Nepal. Wow, doesn't get much more exciting than this.
No, are they going to bring it? Genji impression's really good.
Thank you. I miss my calling. Could have been a cyber ninja.
It's not too late, though.
That's true.
I'd be happy to critically injure you.
I'll think about it. I'll get back to you on that one.
Trust me, I have the technology.
It's tempting. Can you rebuild me, though? That's the question. A lot of poking going on, but no kills just yet. As the team skirmish over the early point here, Fate does go down, and that's going to be a take despite that for Immortal.
Or protection for Agilities.
Well, he's going to get, yeah, I was going to say, he landed some left hooks, and he's got the Transcendence already if they need to use it. Kariv, ooh, actually able to take a Ludi on the other side. That's a lot of kills for Immortals coming in already. Transcendence used now just to try to keep people up, as I believe. Yeah, Jaru not even getting to use his Dragon Blade, as Agilities pulls out his. Grim Reality with the Pulse Bomb. They're going to flip the point. OT ticking away. This could be it right here, right now. Immortals trying to win it, and they do. Toronto Esports not able to get back to the point, and Immortals complete.